Hi there, today we're going to be taking a look at the V-25, the first in the tech tree line of German destroyers. While you're taking a brief look at the equipment setup and the captain skills for the V-25, I'll explain that V-25 is the fastest ship tied with Longjiang of the Tier 2 tech tree destroyers. She's very manoeuvrable, which makes her difficult to hit when she's bobbing and weaving. She also has the highest rate of fire for tech tree destroyers at Tier 2. However, the guns don't hit very hard, which you'll see in these two battle examples. Her strength is as a torpedo boat. Now, this first battle is a more measured example of a performance with the V-25. The second battle is more chaotic, and I thought the two of them as a comparison would be an interesting view of how she performs.
Enemy force detected.
Now, in the matchmaking for this battle, there's only one real player on the enemy team. The rest of the lineup in this matchmaking is made up of AI players. The AI opponents tend to make an absolute beeline for your home base, which is something that's critical to defend in this particular battle type. So I'm going to take up a position to defend the home base, trying to use the islands to limit the amount of opponents that I can actually receive fire from at any one time. Now, once I start using the torpedoes, you'll see one of the great advantages of the early German tech tree destroyers, and that's the forward-facing torpedoes. One of the ironies of the AI players is their artillery fire is pretty well inaccurate, but they're quite good at firing torpedoes, especially if you don't change your direction and speed. Now, looking at the minimap, that cruiser there, I'm going to divert now to deal with the threat that guy is posing.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Now, I have an AI teammate ahead of me, and you're going to see that they are accurate with their torpedoes a lot of the time. Okay, so here's a low health destroyer from the enemy team that's taking some fire from some of the friendly ships. Let's see if we can help finish him off.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Here comes another low health destroyer into the base, so another opportunity for us.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Okay, that's the second enemy ship that we've sunk, and we can see at the top of the minimap now the only other real player in the battle. He or she is offering neither myself nor the base any threat right now, so let's deal with the ships that are closer to the base.
Our team has taken the lead.
Okay, I'm going to drop some torps for the Weymouth here on my port side, and then go and deal with that battleship Incomparable. after getting one torpedo away here from my forward-facing torpedoes, I'm going to smoke up as I wait for my lateral torpedoes to reload.
Smoke generator started. The ship is on fire. Smoke screen set.
Ship sunk. Our victory is in.
Okay, that's the incomparable down, but I've got the Umikaze now at my back, actually starting to take shots at me. So let me accelerate past this island to isolate the shots from this ship on my starboard side, so I can deal with that destroyer behind me. And in a destroyer versus destroyer gunfight, it's typically best to be kiting away, actually showing your stern to the enemy destroyer.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
So now you can see the amount of shells that I'm putting into the enemy destroyer with seemingly very little damage taking place. Let's drop some torpedoes for that South Carolina. Okay, we can get some shots off at the Umikaze. The fire you see coming out of the stacks indicates that he's suffered engine damage, so he's unable to move efficiently at the moment. Okay, so we finally managed to take down the Umikaze after emptying virtually every shell we have on board in the magazines into her. So let's get some torpedoes away now and take down the South Carolina. Okay, that's enough to win that game. I'll give you a quick view of the battle scores for those of you that are interested in that. More importantly, let's get on to the second game, where you'll see the ability of the V-25 to dodge and move and avoid enemy fire. So the next battle will be on the Solomon Islands map. As before, this game only has one opposition player who's actually a real player. Now, with so many artificial intelligence players, what you tend to see is everybody tries to force their way through that gap between the two large island groups. So, let's make our way there. As always, have to give a mention for the wargaming team. The visual effects in this game are fantastic, and as much as the landscapes and the cloud cover, etc., and even weather effects, I really love the pitch and roll of the ship as it rides different wave states.
Enemy force detected.
only have one visible enemy destroyer to deal with at the moment, and a colleague there has managed to drop a smoke screen that I can use to hide visibility. Let's continue to focus fire on that destroyer. Committing a cardinal sin here now, launching torpedoes at the enemy destroyer, but I'm remaining broadside on to a broadside destroyer. I should be expecting torpedoes here. Here they come. Let's try to get out of here. I need speed boost to try and enable to make the turn so I can dodge these torpedoes. But I do take one in the stern. Manage to avoid the rest though. But that's half of my ship's health gone now. Still haven't managed to finish that enemy destroyer. We're 3 ships down now and 150 points behind. We've got some catching up to do. So here we go, and finally I managed to finish off that destroyer. But take a look here at that destroyer that's now entering our base. I have mentioned previously about how it's a priority to protect your base. So actually during the game itself, I wasn't paying attention to the minimap, so I missed that. So how did I notice that he was there? That's it, there you go, once he launched torpedoes at me. So let's go and deal with him now.
Engine boost deactivated. Torpedoes to starboard.
Now there's some incoming fire from my port side, though I don't see anything on the minimap yet. And yes, there it is. And it's actually the other real player, so we need to go and deal with him now. Let's get rid of this DD first now, if we can. Drop some torps to him anyway, and then go and deal with the Longjiang.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Okay, so I managed to dodge his torps, and hey, there you go, he's toast. So the difference between actually hitting someone with torpedoes and the amount of fire you have to put in with guns, which I'm doing now. Let's see how this one goes. Now, as well as dealing with that destroyer, look at this whole bunch of ships that are moving into the base now. Here's where you're going to see an example of how the manoeuvrability of V-25 and its torpedoes gets me out of jail from this absolute chaos that I've allowed myself to walk into. Now, if you're up against real players, this won't save you for long, but up against the AI players, it makes it very difficult for them, their poor aiming ability, to actually hit you with gunfire. you're also seeing the benefit of the great torpedo angles on the V-25, something that you'll really miss later having become used to this.
Our victory is in sight.
And what a turnaround now in terms of ship numbers and the points gap. Okay, we can give you a quick view of the results from this particular game. 66,000, Confederate high caliber and Kraken. Finished top scorer, unsurprisingly, as the only real player on this side. Okay, I hope you like the examples we provided today. Thank you and goodbye.